really high deductible plan and having to pay, and the employer maybe could at that point only afford to cover the minimum required amount of premium in the plan, then I think some of them will find they're in a better situation. The trend that it creates, or the impact that it has on the overall system, can be a little troubling because not all payers pay the same when they go and get services. This dwindling supply of employer-based plans is kind of it's a concern for the overall system because hospitals oftentimes lose money on the transactions when it's a Medicare, Medicaid, exchange plan. These government-sponsored programs that come in may not pay enough to cover the full cost of the procedure. And those...
I'm sorry, go ahead. No, I was going to say... okay, let me do this. What effect do you think the pandemic had on premiums?
Well, it's delayed. That's the really interesting part of what we do is that these hospitals and insurance companies get into multi-year agreements on their reimbursements. So while these hospitals have watched costs soar, and providers have watched costs of labor soar, a traveling nurse is $1,900 a week pre-pandemic, they could be $5,000 a week now, and many other things that impact their costs, and they haven't trickled through to premiums yet because these multi-year agreements were in place. So as these get renegotiated, it creates this delay in the way that inflation impacts health insurance premiums, and that's why people are kind of surprised that maybe they've gone through a pretty gentle renewal season this time, but it's pent up. It's going to pop out in 23 because of that delay.
That was Paul Seeger, managing partner at PCS Advisors.
At Johns Hopkins, I'm Elizabeth Tracy. A very common type of virus called an enterovirus has been implicated in the development of type 1 diabetes, according to a new study. Rita Kalyani, a diabetes expert at Johns Hopkins, says the data is gathered from a large number of other studies and analyzed together.
This was a study that looked at the onset of type 1 diabetes in those who had exposure to enterovirus infection. And what they found is that based on a meta-analysis, those with type 1 diabetes were nearly 8 times more likely to have had an enterovirus infection than those with normal pancreatic function. And when they looked at a subgroup of people who were diagnosed with enterovirus within the past month, they found 16-fold higher odds of recent onset type 1 diabetes.
Kalyani notes that COVID-19 has also been associated with new onset diabetes in people who have had the infection. So the role of viruses is clearly beginning to be discerned. At Johns Hopkins, I'm Elizabeth Tracy.
We've got a car on its roof. Traffic in 60 seconds.
Shouldn't you breathe clean air all day, every day? Help protect yourself with IQ Air's Health Pro Plus Air Purifier, the #1 large room air purification choice for viruses. These Swiss-made air purifiers were chosen by the Hong Kong Hospital Authority not only for SARS-CoV-1, but also SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19. Using patented industry-leading hyper-HEPA filtration, the Health Pro Plus captures particles down to 0.003 microns, the smallest that exist. Now and for a limited time only, use the promo code KCBS5 and save 5% on your Autumn or Health Pro Plus air purifier. Visit iqair.com/US or call 888-409-6202. That's iqair.com/US or call 888-409-6202. Help protect your loved ones and get the healthy indoor air that you deserve today.
We go now to Frank Munich at the KCBS Traffic Center.
Well, we're looking really at this point at only a few minor headaches. One is in Benicia, and that perhaps is more than a minor headache because we have all but the far left lane shut down by a crash southbound 680 just past Marshview Road. That involves at least 2 cars. One car overturned on its roof. Again, all but the far left lane blocked by a crash southbound 680 just past Marshview Road in Benicia. We do have a heavy fog advisory for the San Mateo Highlands near Crystal Springs Reservoir and in the hills above Half Moon Bay. This near the intersection of Highway 92 and Skyline Boulevard, Highway 35. We are seeing fog at the Golden Gate Bridge toll plaza, but nothing near what would trigger a heavy fog advisory. And we do have road work in Marin County across the Richardson Bay Bridge, more or less from Bridgeway and up to Seminary Drive. Northbound 101, we have lanes coned off until 8 this morning, but at least one lane open at all times. Your next update at 12:48 on the traffic leader KCBS.
Mostly cloudy overnight with that patchy fog that Frank just mentioned. We're looking at overnight lows 40s to low 50s. Later on, mostly cloudy with patchy morning fog. It's going to be cooler. We're looking at highs tomorrow. San Francisco, 61 degrees in the financial district. Out in the avenues, 59 degrees. Oakland and Fremont, 64 degrees. San Jose and Redwood City, 66. Concord, Livermore, and Morgan Hill, 69 degrees. Rain should arrive in the Bay Area late Monday into early Tuesday. Hopefully it won't start until the kids are all done trick-or-treating. Traffic and weather together on the 8th on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS.
I'm Omar Habas. Lawyers don't have a law business, they have law practice. Because it takes a lot of practice to be a good lawyer. Believe me, we have a lot of practice. Some people assume Habas Law is a small law firm, because my father and I do all the acts. But we're not a small law firm at all. We have a lot of lawyers in a lot of offices all over California. And I personally chose each lawyer because they are the right kind of lawyer. They care deeply about you, and they can win your case in court. They don't need any more practicing. They've been practicing a long time. Habas Law has successfully resolved thousands of personal injury cases in California and collected hundreds of millions of dollars for our clients. We do the right thing in the right way at the right time. Are you suffering because something wrong happened to you? Let us do the right thing for you. Our only compensation is a percentage of what we win for you. We are Habas Law. Call us at 1-800-INJURE, HABBAS law.com.
KCBS News Time, 12:41. For the fourth straight year, the local Dungeness crab season has been delayed, meaning the delicacy will not be available for traditional Thanksgiving holiday meals. KCBS's Jeffrey Schaub tells us the State Department of Fish and Wildlife has postponed the season because of migrating whales becoming ensnared by fishing lines.
So far this year, at least 11 humpback whales have been entangled in fishing gear. And with the whale migration season about to get underway, the California Department of Fish and Wildlife says delaying crab season past its scheduled November 15th start date is the safest move. Bodega Bay crab fisherman Dick Ogg says there's nothing he and hundreds of other crabbers can do.
The main thing we have to be cognizant of is that, we can't begin our season until that migration begins and the animal population decreases in our area.
This is the fourth year the season has been delayed. With a sigh, Ogg wonders if it will be a permanent state of affairs.
It's a difficult thing for us to accept it, but the reality of the situation is that more than likely it's going to be very difficult for us to begin November 15th, from this point on.
The season delay impacts fishermen operating from south of the Mendocino County line to the Mexico border. Frozen crab from other regions should still be available. In the North Bay, Jeffrey Schaub, KCBS.
Russia is suspending its participation in a deal negotiated by the UN to export grain from Ukraine. The export of grain from Ukraine had stopped because of the Russian invasion. President Biden calls Russia's withdrawal from the UN grain deal purely outrageous and says it will increase starvation. Russia blames a major Ukrainian drone attack on its fleet in Crimea for putting an end to the agreement. BBC News' James Waterhouse has more.
In terms of what the Russians are saying about this, they're not casting any light on just how much has been damaged. We have just had a response from Ukraine's military, which typically doesn't comment when Crimea is struck in this way, but it's said 4 vessels have been damaged, and it's blamed Russia's faulty air defense systems, but all signs point to a very deliberate and targeted strike on Russia's Black Sea fleet, which has been used to launch missile attacks across Ukraine on its infrastructure.
The newest Niner comes through